Welcome to Blade Talk, where the clippers are sharp and the conversation is even sharper.
Welcome to Blade Talk, where the clippers are sharp and the conversation's even sharper. I'm your host and mediator, DT the Barber, aka Mr. Fedora. I'm bringing you the freshest cuts in music, culture, and the community, straight from the chair. I got my co-host here to the side of me, Mr. Fat Mac, aka Mr. Fit Mac, aka Mr. Arkansas, not yours, aka Mr. Community Service. I would like to introduce our special guest joining us on the panel today, Mr. Marcus Allen. He is the owner and proprietor of Masterpiece Barber School. I got his staff here with me, and I got his students here with me today. We are celebrating and doing our fourth episode of Blade Talk. So sit back and let's talk about what's really going on from the shop floor to the streets. The platform was built for barbershops and our culture. You can check us out on social media platforms, TikTok, X, formerly known as Twitter, also Instagram, on our YouTube channel, Blade Talk Barbers. I want to dedicate this show to a gentleman that taught me a lot in the industry. And I want to dedicate this to Joran Nilsson. Because of him, it helped me when he hired me at the Wynn Hotel. I was the barber over there for 6.5 years. He also made me a 5-star, 5-diamond barber. So I dedicate this program to him. He passed away this July 7th. So, Jan, this is for you. Also, my man Marcus, he wants to dedicate this here to Mr. Mac. So I'm going to let him do his part on this.
Yeah, we want to send a great congratulations to Mr. Mack over there at Harlem Limited. That's been a great entrepreneur and a good role model for us as barbers right here in the state of Nevada, and one of the oldest active barbers in the state of Nevada as of right now, just retired. This one's for you, Mac.
We're going to get it straight into it. We're going to get into what's known as the Barber Association. We've been talking about this for quite some time, and it's a couple of us. Some people didn't make it today, but we're going to do the best that we can to really talk about this thing, the association, what it's about, what it's for, what it's meant to do, how it's meant to help barbers, what it's designed to do to help the barbers. So I'm going to give a little information about it as a whole. So just everybody sit back, relax for a little bit while I talk about this thing and just really let everybody know what the association is really meant for. So the Nevada State Barbers have members of the International Union many years, but um, upon leaving, they were left without benefit of a larger organization. Soon they realized this and joined the UFCW, wanting and needing the benefits that was provided previous. However, barbers were not happy with the UFCW because they were so small compared to their large group and the barbers. They felt that there was an identity problem. The barbers missed feeling like they belonged and missed the social activities that had long and been enjoyed. The barbers said goodbye to the UFCW after hearing barbers complain about what they had lost. Mr. Nathaniel LaShore approached Mr. Jimmy Threat with the idea need to organize again. Mr. Threat was open to the idea and offered his shop for a place to meet. Letters were sent out, phone calls were made, personal contacts were made, and barbers showed up in abundances, in attendance, and with an interest to become ordained again. Approximately 29 years ago, a group of registered barbers was invited to a meeting that turned out to form what we now call the Nevada State Barber Association. This was a group of barbers, but apprentice and registered, who wanted to be able to come for several reasons. These individuals wanted to look into health insurance, social activities, and of course, legislative concerns as related to the NRS code. These laws are in place to regulate the barber profession. These individuals thought the regs have been well thought out and accepted as regulations. They are good for consumers as well, the barbers behind the chair. Today, we still believe these things are needed. The first annual conference was held at what was known the Silver Nugget. With hard work and great support from so many of our barbers who have passed on and many who are still active, this association is still strong. The objective of this association is to promote the advancement of the barbering profession and to seek mutual welfare of the Nevada State barbers through good laws, rules, and regulations that govern the barbers. For this reason, the association had been still here to fight to protect the NRS from those who would understand the benefit of these regulations. We have witnessed the devastation that has been results of deregulation and of poor regulation. Remember, and another key reason for forming the Nevada State Barber Association was for the unity of barbers and being able to voice our opinions in Carson City. As all of us know, you make more noise as a whole than you do as an individual. In the past, the Cosmetology Board has made efforts to try and merge the two boards. But as a whole, we have voiced our opinions in Carson City and have successfully kept our identities as barbers. In other states where boards have merged, barbers are the minorities and do not have strong hold on many changes made. Example, some states require you demonstrate being able to do a shampoo, set finger wave, pin curls, etc. Because of merging, lots of states don't even have their own boards. The states take over. That means you don't have people that aren't even in the industry examining, inspecting shops, and so on. One of the main concerns is sanitation and disinfecting. With all the diseases that are out there in the world today, we have to make sure, double sure, that we are not only protecting the patrons, but that we are protecting ourselves as well. There are many new laws trying to be passed at all times. In the past, a handful of barbers have kept things in control by staying on top of these matters. Every barber who cares about your profession should be concerned. Get involved and help carry the load. Many people refer to barbers as a dying breed. I say if this means of you making a living, we shall be willing to do anything possible to keep our profession alive and strong. We need all of you to help us make a difference. We are all a piece of the puzzle, separate. We are only one piece, but together we make a difference. The picture all fits together. You may feel you are not a shop owner, and these matters do not concern you. Contrary to this, thinking it will. The association has sent lobbyists to Carson City to voice our opinions and to help stop the service tax, which they are trying to pass. If the tax would have passed and shop owners chose not to raise the prices on haircuts, shaves, or whatever, the tax would have come out of your take. If the shop owners choose to raise prices to cover this, why should you be cheated out of a raise in order to cover the cost? Or why should you be part of this to come out of your tip? In the past, the association has been well represented when the time arose for us to testify at the Grant Sawyer building. Without unity, this would not have happened. One of the most recent appearances to testify when our barber board had to go through a sunset review. A sunset review is to decide whether they should combine our boards with another board, not knowing which one, or do away with it totally. The participation totally proved we are a profession that needs to be separate from any profession. The fight for the barber pole was another process we were involved in, and finally it was approved. The barber pole is now and does identify barbers only. So with that being said, I'm going to open this panel up to everyone and for a discussion to take place on if we feel that this barber association should be cranked back up, or do we just continue doing what we're doing and one day it not being the profession or a dying profession for some of us. So I'll open the floor up to Marcus because I've been in many battles with this man, and we've been up to that Grant Sawyer building with numbers and him bringing his school up there. So I want to see how you're feeling about it to this day.
Well, most definitely we really need it. We have to have it, actually. If we want to save this profession in the state of Nevada, we have to do that. And you got to understand, legislators every 2 years, which every odd year, and it's coming up on that season right now, which is next year, would be the odd year that we'd be going up north and we go to Carson City for that to fight. It's just not a Grant Sawyer building, but you actually go up north where you be face-to-face and walk them hallways and talk to the politicians that's actually in their office and talk to them face-to-face about your concern, about your profession. It's most definitely, but we need more barbers to go up there to do this, to experience that walk, to do that talk, to go inside these offices, sit on their couch, sit in their chair, and talk to the individual where they're at. Meet them where they're at. Let's not wait for them to come there. And let's try to stay ahead of the eight ball because we keep getting behind it. And then when these things come out, we fight so hard to get them returned back around, but we can be on top of it before we even get there to a bill. We need to discuss this before we get to a bill because, once again, together we are stronger. Divided, we're nothing. So we say what the one saying was, together we stand, divided we fall. Right. And that's what's happening right now. We falling and we losing our profession to unethic ruling and ideals of bills that they think is fit for us because they have one constituent. All a politician have to do is get one constituent to say there's something that they like or dislike about our profession, which they're not barber. Like I told I talk to politicians all the time. I say, let's talk to the barbers, not just a barber. It's plural in that. Let's all get together and talk and see what help benefit us or what will hurt us in this profession. Because you got to understand, a politician is an elected official. They don't have no skill set or nothing like that. But 9 times 10, and not to be saying nothing bad about a politician though, but 9 times 10, they don't even own a business. They never owned a business. And now you want to tell me how I should run my business. How are we going to do that? I mean, just because you was elected don't mean you know how a lot of things about business or run a business or own a business. Or keep a business open, because everybody just about, the majority of people can open a business, but how do you keep the doors open? What do you do to keep the doors open? And things like that, and these laws that come about, you change around, it could affect that business where you can run a business out. And I say grand opening to grand closing. So we got to be careful on things that goes up north and goes into a bill and then make it into a law. And the thing is, now let's get this straight too, because a lot of our barbers is comfortable in their positions right now because they inside the barber shop, they cutting hair, they making money, they doing their thing, they have their clientele. So they don't see nothing that could really affect them. But nobody never know when the storm is coming until it's there. And then when they get to tearing us, they say, oh, I need to get some help. I need some help over here. But the storm is already there. What you gonna do? But you can send a warning sign out and say, hey, this bill right here is coming. And you say, oh, it ain't gonna affect me. That's almost like the story with the 3 pigs and the wolf. When everybody built their house, they knew the wolf was coming. And one built their house out of hay, and the other one built out of mud, and the other one took his time and built it out of brick. But they knew the storm was coming. We know the storm was coming. We say, hey, well, I just build me a little straw house, a hay house, and I don't build me a mud. We need to build it out of brick and make it solid so we won't get blew down. Our profession don't need to be blown down. We got to look at it. I was just talking earlier today. It's the oldest profession the oldest profession in the world. And another thing, that barber symbol, that pole, we was talking about this earlier today, that is worldwide. The language changed, the area codes, countries changed. They got different militaries, they got different leadership, dictatorship, everything else, but that pole is still the same.
And it's universal, so wherever you go, no matter what state, city, country, wherever you are, if you see that pole, you know that's a barber.
That's a barber.
That never changes, has never changed. And I've been in a lot of places. I see that barber pole. I'm curious. I go in there. I sit down. I want to see what's going on. I want to see if that environment is pretty much like the environment that we are in each and every day. Just to go in there and hear the basic conversations of what these gentlemen or women are talking about these days. So I definitely see what you're saying as far as that aspect goes.
So my say so, the topic off that is that 2027 is coming up, and this next year we got less than 6 months. That we have to go back up north and protect our profession. Now I'm telling all the barbers out there, when time comes, when we ring the bell and set off the siren, don't just sit behind the chair and cut hair thinking it ain't got nothing to do with you. This is our profession, not my profession. It's not my responsibility to go up there and fight, take time off my day, catch an airplane, and go up there and go to these offices to fight for everybody else while they sit back at home with their feet kicked up on the couch.
And the crazy thing is, we don't necessarily all have to go up there. We can go to the Grand Sawyer building because a lot of this stuff is it's not recorded, but it's filmed.
Well, it's not the Grand Sawyer building no more. They shut that down. So, yeah, there's a building out there by the airport. Now it's a state building out there by the airport. Yeah, so the building they shut the Grand Sawyer totally down. There's nothing over there at all right now. Just the building itself. Yeah, it's the state building over there, the state building. So that's where they have the hearings at now. So when you're local and you don't have time to go up there, but remember what I said, it's very important. Not everybody have to go, but the most serious barbers that have the time and get the experience on what's really going on up north, it's a little bitty Carson City, a little bitty town. There's one street and only certain many residents, but it runs this whole state. It runs the whole state. North, south, east, west. That little bitty town with that one street run this whole state.
Mr. Mack, how you feeling about it over here?
Well, I feel like barbers have been irresponsible for so long about our profession. We don't take it serious. And this is not just in Nevada, it's nationwide. It comes a time where we have to interject and tell the younger barbers or spread the cultural experience of what a barber is, what we were supposed to be. It is always have to be about appointments. It has have to be about who cuts hair the best. People used to go to barbershops to find out information. People used to go to barbershops to feel good. Now we're so quick to rush people in and out. It ruins the experience of what a barbershop really is, and it's trickling into our professions where they want to override our professions. That's where this is coming from. A barber doesn't want to fight for it. A barber wants to sit behind that chair and be comfortable, Mr. Allen, right? Because our lack of communication of what a barber really is, right? You have this barber school, and yes, you're teaching them how to cut hair and you're teaching them ethics,
Sanitation.
sanitation, but are you teaching them etiquette and ethics, right? Because that is what part of it is, right? I don't believe things go wrong. I believe they start wrong. And I believe when you come in, like at my shop, I'd rather seats sit empty and have comfortable barbers than to have a full barber shop where there's people causing dysfunction, detention, any of that. I'll have to pay a little extra money, and that's okay, right? Because the barbershop is a place of peace. And on top of it being a place of peace, it's the place where you go to when a barber goes through a plethora of emotions with the customer. When your mother dies, you go get a haircut. When you're about to get married, you go get a haircut. When you have a kid, you go get a haircut. So you're going up and down with the emotion of these people. And I always tell my young barbers that you should be so blessed that a man from off the street that doesn't know you, right? Because we're the most aggressive, right? If I came and stood in your area, you would be like, why are you all in my space, right? We're the most aggressive men, right? So a man comes in off the streets and he allows you, he puts the trust in you, the faith in you, that he's gonna let you put a razor to his face. That's the blessing of it. And if we don't start there, why do you think they would listen to us about how important a board is, or how important a union is, how important it is for us to have our own board, how important it is for us to be separate, right? The barbershop did so much for me as a person, right? When I was going to school, I was the super smart ass, right? I wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer. I wanted to be what everybody else was, right? The teacher woke me up in the middle of class. He did not like me. I would sleep through his class. He'd be like, I wonder why he passed all the tests. It was, you know what I'm saying, learning came easy to me, right? And I felt like I was just gonna go somewhere. Nobody explained to me you had to apply for colleges and stuff like that. Nobody had really went to college in my family. He woke me up one day. He said, I want to tell everybody one thing. He said, I want you to find somebody that is living right now that you feel like you can live like. At the time, I was going to Tito, and their name were Creative Cuts. They later turned into House of Fades, right? And I would go in there, and they would be partying and bringing pizza and buying wings, and it was just a kick it spot. It was where I went to feel good, right? And that's what the barbershop has to become again in order for us to create this union, right? First, we have to teach them that the barbershop is about making people feel good and not just making yourself rich, right? And so when we brought the money into it, that, and every man should make money, right? You're supposed to take care of your family, right? It is about that, right? But we lost what the feeling was. And that's why the newer barbers can't get on the team. So it starts with us teaching barbers what it's really about, and then we'll be strong enough to be a union. We'll be strong enough to take people up to Carson City. We'll get the whatever the name of the building is on Pecos, right? We'll find out, right? And we'll broadcast that next time, right? That that's what it's going to take for them to get there. But they're not going to follow us, right? There's a barbershop on every corner now, right? But the ethics is what we need to teach. That is what our problem is.
Mr. Man, introduce yourself and what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm Mr. Man. I go by Clipperholic, the barber connoisseur, called to groom the nation. And my thoughts on this is, again, it really stems with education. Because if you can't raise a child up to be a barber, then what are they left to do? And then it comes to what's in the contents of a man or a person. So if your content isn't what's written in the curriculum as far as the standards of a barber, then how can you really demonstrate that? So now we're expecting people off the streets to come sit in our chairs And of course, we don't see ourselves. We don't really know our conversation. And our conversation isn't really about the things that we learn and are applying to our clients. It's more than just sanitation. I mean, that's just at the root of being a barber. But do you know anything about chemistry? Do you know anything about anatomy and physiology? I mean, these types of things, you don't know who's walking off the street can admire that or respect that. And I just think with education, we dismissed education. So then how can you teach without a curriculum? You know what I mean? So now you're just dealing with how can I be original? And I can't really be original because I'm looking at what somebody else is doing and trying to mimic that, but you can't find your own identity. And I think that's the root of dealing with barbering, how it's lost a lot of integrity, a lot of ethics, and a lot of trust. Like when COVID happened, we supposed to be on the front lines. We used to be doctors. We used to be surgeons. We used to be all these different types of things, but if a person walk off the street and sit in your chair, he may just feel like you just hustling them.
Let's go, Mr. Man. Let's go, Mr. Man.
But I digress.
That's right. Okay, I'm gonna bring this young lady in. What is your name?
My name is Stephanie, and I'm the administrator at Masterpiece Barber School.
Now, what do you think about all this conversation that's going on? How do you feel about the association? Do you think it would be a good thing for barbers being an admin?
Absolutely. I actually was watching a documentary on National Geographic, and they were talking about the profession of barbering and barber surgeons and bloodletting and how ancient it was. And one thing that I notice when people come to school, they don't realize the educational piece, the structural piece that's required and the discipline that's required. So taking people who are learning to cut hair from family members, YouTube, just natural talent, and bringing them into schools is important because they're learning the foundation that'll help them throughout their career. And it's gonna set them apart from somebody who just has that talent. Knowledge is gonna set you apart from somebody who's been cutting for 20 years without the knowledge.
Okay. All right, we got a student over here to my right. Let them know what's your name over there, young man?
Ramon Singletary.
Ramon Singletary. Okay, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Singletary. What do you feel? How do you feel about all this?
I mean, I feel, as being somebody who's just coming into this profession, it makes me feel safe if we have something like a barbers association that can keep us in a place to where our profession is growing. It's keeping this integrity. As I'm hearing the things that you guys are talking about, it's just putting seeds into my mind on how I need to plan for the future. Our books, our curriculum talks about a long-term goal, short-term goals. So these things that we're talking about as far as the Barber Association, where our profession is going, it encourages me, but it also takes me to a place where I feel like, what could I do? What could I make sure I'm doing on a day-to-day basis to protect the integrity of the industry? Just starting with me.
Okay, I like that. Young man, what's your name over here to my left?
How you doing? My name is Josue Gutierrez.
Oh, man, speak a little louder, man. You over there
My
sounding
name
like
is,
Rico Suave, man. You over there, sounding all sexy on the microphone. I feel you.
Man got the Obama.
You got the thing laying in front. Okay.
How y'all doing? My name is Josue Gutierrez.
Okay. What do you
am,
think about all this? How do you feel about the association?
Man, I think it's important. I think, I am new. I'm only 2 months into this course, but I've definitely learned a lot when it comes to what we need to build as far as a foundation, and as what you plan is what you're gonna get out of this. And I'm definitely learning that from my instructor as well as Mr. Allen. I'm very grateful to have these two guys behind me in my corner, as well as Miss Stephanie. I'm learning every day, but I think it's very important, especially if you, as a new guy coming in and wanting to really make this a profession and see himself in the future as, a successful barber. I think it's important to just set a foundation, especially right now, and I think it's important that we all come together and figure out solutions for the new guys coming in. That way, they don't have it as hard.
Okay, by a show of hands to my people that's back, they don't have microphones back here, but how do y'all, you like the association thought process, or?
I think there is a lot of questions to be answered as far as the barbering profession, as far as like insurance and when tax season comes around. So I definitely think it's something important, something to look into.
What about you, young man?
Well, I think it's important as well. I'm new to the course as well.
How long have you been? How long have you been to school?
Around a month.
A month now, so you're just getting
Yeah.
started in the profession.
Yeah, I'm just getting started.
What brought you into the profession?
What brought me into the profession was the history, cause I have a lot of relatives that cut hair too, and I see it very interesting. But as far as what I've been taught now in sanitation and infection control and stuff like that, this is very new to me. Like I've been thinking of cutting hair, but it's like I don't know these things, so it's like it's very, I see it very important. It's very new to me, so it's very interesting. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So my name's Abraham. I'm also very new to the course. I'm like 5-6 weeks in, but I think all this is very important, especially just because, you know, I think barbering is more than just like the actual profession of like having someone sit in your chair and like cut their hair. I think it's also, you must also kind of like fight to protect it in a way. And I kind of relate to what you guys were talking about earlier, how about you have to hold these politicians and these representatives and these leaders who go ahead and make these rules. You have to go ahead and make sure they go ahead and hear your opinion, your voice, and you voice your opinions basically about what you think about your profession. You have to love it, and you have to love your profession enough in order to go ahead and protect it. And I think that's something that it's just more of the act of just getting money and getting someone, building the clientele. It's also willing to go ahead and fight for it, fight for that profession, and love it enough to go ahead and like speak your voice and speak what you feel like is right in the moment. Yeah.
What about you, young man? What's your name?
My name's Kevin Luna Lara.
How long have you been in?
I've been here since January.
Since January?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the profession as a whole now that you've been in since January?
I feel like, like how everyone's saying, we just need a strong foundation, need to come together and fight for what we want, you know?
So to top it off with that right there with the students, that we teach them beyond the Milady book, we teach them beyond the law book. Number one thing is that law book right there.
The NRS code.
NRS code 643,
that
NAC, and NRS.
Okay.
They have to totally understand that. I bring politicians in here for they can talk to them to see the numbers that we have. Let them talk to the students how important it is to get out and vote. Who you vote in place for, who have your best interest first. It starts with that right there before we even get to a shop. You know, we have to put these while they're in school, while we got them here. Act is, like we say when we talked about COVID, you said we was the front line. Yes, we're the front line because on our license we got health and sanitation. Health and sanitation. Yes, we're the front line. Yes, me and my barber instructors, we met every week during the COVID to see what we was going to do to get it reopened back up safely. So when the politicians came to us, which ones in charge, we had the conversation for them. We just sit up there and stutter on what we had to talk about.
You already had it.
We already had it. Cause I said, this our turn now. This our turn to shine right here.
There you go.
This us right here. We got on both ends, health and sanitation. So yeah, still though, and then the barber advocacy inside the barbershop, because we try to prepare our students before they get to your shop. We talk about the lawsuits of leaving the hair in the middle of the floor, sweeping the hair in the floor, leaving the dustpan in the middle of the floor, setting your trash can right here, go to the side, cleaning your station. We teach them all of that before they even get to the floor. And also, we like you said, I take my students over there to at the time Grand Sewer building, but we went to the state building last time,
right?
Is to show them exactly how these things go. Because when you get in the barbershop, I say, I don't want you guys to forget this. This is where your blue book come from. It's come up from Carson City, not from one of us. You look inside that book, and you look at right here, you look inside that law book, and you see the dates at the end of that sentence that they say this law is about. They dated all the way back to 1970. I wasn't even born then.
No, none of us was.
So they was putting these laws together before I was born. And some is still in place since I was born. That's regulating the rules and regulations of the
With
state of
some of
Nevada.
those laws, with some of those rules and regulations, do you feel that they're outdated, that some of them need to be changed, or are they fine where they are?
They fine. There's nothing wrong with them. If I can see something that was wrong, I would say something. And I probably would have had it about changed by now. But no, they was put in place for a reason because once again, if you look in the front of that book, it says state of Nevada, and it got big words, laws. And then after that, it say rules and regulations. And then it say governing the profession, governing the barbering profession in the state of Nevada. NRS code 643. NRS is by politicians, NAC is by the board themselves. So we have an issue with the NRS, we got to go to Carson City. NAC, we got to go to the next barber board meeting and discuss that. But we teach all the students that, what NRS mean, what NAC mean, who changed this right here. All that stuff is taught to them.
And the meetings are held quarterly, so I would know. I'm there. Well, once again, I'm your state board proctor, so I'm the person that's going to judge you in this school, by the way, on you getting your license. So, yeah. So, go ahead.
Full circle. Carlos.
Yep.
Carlos here was one of our shop kids for what, a year, right? Full circle.
Oh, so you know him.
I know Carlos. When I looked over there, I said, "Oh, I know
Carlos done grew up.
Carlos done grew up. Carlos used to be a shop kid. You know what I'm saying? Could have went a different direction, and hopefully, what he learned in our barbershop inspired him. Right? I've always been pro barbershop first, right? Because I want them to learn, right? I don't think I'm gonna tell you the best rule in that book. You have got to be a master barber to open a shop. And I still think 18 months is too short, but you know what I'm saying, it at least gives them that buffer where they can't just get out and open that shop.
Okay, not to correct you or anything, I'll be teaching it. No. There's no such thing as master barber in the state of Nevada. It's registered barber and apprentice barbers. And I just think I teach them that right there. But everybody, I'm a master barber. In certain states, it could be, but in the state of Nevada, it's registered barber. And also, Mr. Singletary over here, I cut his hair when he was a kid. And now his daddy brought him down here and dumped him off to me. Now I'm trying to teach him how to cut hair, and he teaching me how to cut hair. With the follicles and the spritz and the follicles. I say, learn how to cut hair first. Everybody over there got spray painting this and spritz and this spit that. This they can lay down.
But that's that new generation.
I'll tell you.
It's called evolution.
The new teaching the old. And
it's illusion. That's what it is.
It's an illusion.
It's evolution.
When you go home and wash your hair, the illusion is gone.
See, I just told him that. I just told him that today.
The illusion is gone.
Can I say something?
Can you say something?
Okay.
No bell out. Give him a parachute.
No, I'm not gonna mess with the OGs. But what I'm saying is, certain clients want that illusion. Certain clients have a little bit missing and want a little bit added to their head.
Yeah, but you would put it on a baby.
No. See, now he a baby. Now he's joking.
Everybody gets it.
He's joking. No. So, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna have a transparent moment, right? When I first got here and got on the floor, yes, I'm spraying, I'm hitting everybody, right? Until I got some more knowledge and understanding, and he did say, no, wait, go back to the fundamentals first. Right? Those things are used to enhance the cut, not make the cut.
Okay. I hear him clearly, but y'all brought this spray painting thing along, man. Y'all really got to stick with the fundamentals and spray later on. Okay. So I'm going to read this last two paragraphs because I had cut it short. So throughout the years, we have had other challenges, and we will continue with challenges, but united, we will be able to face these challenges. Through the years, the association has been only representative of barbers. We have no union. With the devoted help from our legislative representative, we have stayed abreast of different situations. At least we have someone standing guard over legislative matters. States without a union or no type of association leave the barber out in the cold, like lost sheep with no shepherd. At one of our conventions, one of our forefathers made the statements, "Barbers, it is time to get back to the basics." The profession has been around for a long time, and if we join together as a group and become one, it will be here for a long time to come. Actually, this is a very powerful statement. If we really think about it, the barbershop was the chat room way before the internet or any other social media we have today. Let's all take the time and think about how we can help to be better at our profession. First of all, if you're not a member of the NSBA, join, get involved, let your voice be heard, and instead of asking, what does the association do for me? Ask, what can I do for the association? Stronger, increase our membership, and help unify the barbers in the great state of Nevada. Now, we're not just really doing this just for Nevada. We want all barbers in all states to really start looking at things like this. Do you have a union? Do you have an association? Because at the end of the day, we really want to bring everybody together. We want to bring everybody together as a whole so that we can create the friendly competitions. That way we can present the trophies that everybody so much loves and just really show off your talent, skill, and your talent pool levels. But coming together, there's strength in numbers, period. There's no other way. One man can't get it done. And Marcus has already stated that. It takes the numbers, it takes all of us in order to make this happen. So, this association thing, we're going to keep digging into it. We're going to probably visit another barber school or two and really get to talking more about this because we really want to really get this thing going. And when we do, we're going to have the meetings. We're going to have to get an office established. We're going to have officers established in order to really make this go. So right now, this is just pretty much a discussion. There's nothing set in stone for this, but it's just something we're really looking into. Um, Mac, you got more that you want to elaborate on this, or
I mean, honestly, I think we're gonna have a union. I'm gonna work on a union. I know they said association. I'm gonna work on a union, and I want to team up and go with another union where we have real power. Like Mr. Allen says, right? We need real power, real legislation behind it, and joining up with another blue collar union, I think, would help the barbers.
so now we finna get into a little bit of street gospel. My man Dre gonna talk about a little bit of the community service things that's coming up in the future, and we're going to talk about what took place on the 4th of July. So floor is his now.
So first of all, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate every person that came out to our community-sponsored event, right? The Blade every 4th of July hosts its annual community, not customer, community. Everybody in the community is welcome out. Everybody is going to have fun. It's an old school block party. We have got to get back to the basics, get back to the basics, get back to the basics. And our community functions are so you can meet your neighbors, meet your family, meet people that you would never meet any other time, right? And we have food, fireworks, but the more important things, we have people of many cultures coming together and sharing their cultures with each other. We have to keep on doing it. We will be doing it every 4th of July. We're at Silverado Ranch Park. Everybody is invited. We set off fireworks at 11 o'clock.
How was the fireworks?
Hey, man, the pyromaniac right here always does a great job,
Thank you.
right?
Appreciate that.
Coming up, right, is back to school. Very important, very important, very important that we give back. If you have just a little bit more, you should give a little bit of that to somebody who's in need, right? And this year, we think we're only going to have 300 to 500 pairs of shoes, but we're going to give about 300 to 500 kids shoes to go back to school. We're also going to do haircuts. We're also going to have ladies treatments, hair. We'll do a few blowouts. We'll have about three Cosmos come in and they'll do some hair too. That'll be on August 9th here in Nevada at the Blade Barbershop. Hey, all we ask is for you to give, give, give. It's very difficult. There's some people who can't afford to get to a place. They're not going to be able to give their kids new school clothes. They're going to go to school with old clothes, but we're going to give them a new pair of shoes, right? And if you want to be part of that, you can always donate at 888, the numbers, 38, foundationlv.com. Hey, I always say, just give the one person, and that smile on that face will make you feel better than any drug. It'll get you higher. It'll take you in communication, in spirituality, in energy with that person. The other thing we're going to be doing and you can start donating now, is we're going to feed at least 1,500 people. We did 1,500 people last year. We're going to go for 3,000 people this year
3,000
on Thanksgiving,
on
right?
Thanksgiving, baby.
We're gonna have, it's gonna be crazy. People are gonna be cooking turkeys. We're gonna be bringing turkeys in. DT's gonna be frying fresh turkeys. We're gonna peel potatoes for 8 hours again. It doesn't matter if it's 16 hours. We're gonna get people fed. We're gonna do it on that day. That's what makes it special. Not the day before, not the day after. We may have some leftovers and give some people, right? But that day, we're gonna feed people, and the food that we feed them, we're gonna eat it too. So it has to be good. We're never going to give you what we would eat, right? And that's what makes it special. When you donate your special time to people, you become special too in somebody's life. Off topic about, let's say, Headhunters was about 15, 18 years ago, 15 years ago.
2008.
So 2008, so about 2009, 2010, Mook the Barber, right, invited us to come cut hair at a YMCA, not too far from here, near Meadows. Probably about 8 months, a kid came in. He couldn't afford a haircut. We had cut his hair in that back to school. I did personally. I cut his hair. He said that he might drop out of school. I said, "Why would you drop out of school?" He said, "My mother couldn't afford to give me any clothes, and I don't know if I can stay in school because I'm going to fight when people talk about me." Thankfully, right, I got T-shirts at wholesale from DT, right, and I had a box of T-shirts in my car.
Pro
Me and him were about the
clubs.
same size, right?
Pro clubs.
I gave him a box of T-shirts, and I had a pair of tennis shoes that I played one game of basketball in. Gave him the box of tennis shoes. 8 months ago, the kid came and thanked me. 8 months after 15 years, 2000 what? 2010.
Yep.
After 15 years, the kid came back and thanked me and told me, "Hey, man, I got 3 kids. I have a house on the east side. I drive long roads from here to California to deliver mail." That's the impact you can have by just donating one time. It almost brought tears to my eyes. It'll bring tears to yours too. I promise you, every single time you give anybody anything, it is valued.
Mr. Allen, what you got for the community? You got things coming up for the barber school masterpiece?
Yeah, my administrator can. We got a long list.
Uh-oh.
A long list. I
Oh
can't
my
remember it all.
goodness.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared
You
for
wasn't
this.
prepared?
However, we are supporting 4 different organizations in their back to school efforts to promote those children going back to school. We have an event on August 8th for Miss Bird. We have an event on July 30th.
That's with Metro, right?
With
With
Metro.
Metro.
And then we have some other events with the Southern Nevada Housing Authority and the Von Tobel Community Center, and that's just off top of our head. So whatever we can do to make sure we have a community impact is important to us and always at the forefront of everything we do.
So definitely, if you're interested in helping, you can contact 888 Foundation, or you can sit here and contact Masterpiece as well. Both organizations need all the support and all the help that you can give them. So we appreciate you for that. All right, we're going to get to ask sports. So now we are at the Final Four of the World Cup stage. Has anybody on this panel been watching or interested in the World Cup?
Man,
Absolutely. Okay, who's your team?
I gotta tell you, man, we got a lot of fellow Mexico fans in here that did get their hearts broken
Man, I'm sorry for
over
y'all,
the past
man. I'm
weekend,
so sorry,
man.
so
But
sorry that
you
it
know
happened to
what,
y'all.
man, we're rooting for any team that beats England. We are rooting for you. Norway couldn't pull it through, but you know what? The next team, we're rooting for you guys for sure.
Okay, what about y'all back there? Who was y'all rooting for? Was y'all in the World Cup or no?
Definitely still heartbroken.
Who were you going for?
Mexico.
Mexico?
Definitely still heartbroken about that game. But I'm calling it right now. France is going to
my
take
man,
it.
hey, my man, that's what I'm talking
France
about.
is taking it.
Viva la France. You know what I'm saying? That's where we going with it. I called it out in the beginning. Hey, Rico, make sure you bring up the film when we started this whole World Cup thing and let them know what I said now. France to win the whole thing, my brother. France. Anybody else? Anybody else want? Anybody? Are you still heartbroken? Heartbroken? You was
I don't got a
too?
dog in a
You ain't
fight.
got a dog in the fight. Okay,
Got a
well,
dog
you
in a
know.
fight. We talk about
All
basketball.
right. Are you ready for some football? We got preseason coming up, getting close, y'all. We getting close. Got the first preseason game August 6th. I forgot who the teams was. I think one of them was Arizona Cardinals. I forgot who they were playing.
So can we ask you a question?
I'm a Raiders fan. Don't go there.
I know.
I'm a Raiders fan. Don't go there.
Are you gonna go to
Raider
the Raiders
Nation.
again?
Raider Nation.
So
Raider
next
Nation.
month we're gonna be talking bad about you, and the next month, and the next month.
Man, look here.
You wanna come on and join the
I'm a
Raiders?
Raider till you put me in my pine box, man. It might be silver and black when you put me in
We
the
don't know
thing, when you
about
let
that.
me up on the.
We don't
It
know
don't
about
matter.
You can be recruited.
Raider Nation. Hey, we gonna stick with it. It ain't gonna be nothing else. All right. We going on to Who Raised You. All right, so my panel, y'all, this is something different. It's called Who Raised You. It's about barbershop etiquette. You know what I'm saying? Things that go on in the barbershop, things, the do's, the do nots. So I've been telling everybody about this dude. His name is Romeo the Barber, and he is on Instagram. And he does a lot of cartoonish kind of things. So he has this new one on there, and it's called What is Really Like When You First Start Barbering. So, since you're new in the industry, what do you think that is like when you first start barbering in the industry?
Man, well, I'm young, so I guess the ignorant answer would be money, right?
Money?
I guess money would be like my answer, right?
What's your expectation on money? How much money do you expect?
Well, I mean, hopefully a lot. I'm manifesting a lot, but I know that's not the right answer. I think just growth. Just taking what my teachers have shown me and what school has offered me to really make me and help me succeed.
Okay.
I think that would be the right answer for me.
Okay. What do you think, young man? What, let me see what you got to say.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like, well, my mom is a cosmetologist.
Okay.
So I kind of grew up with it my entire life, and she kind of served an inspiration towards me. And I think honestly, what kind of drove me was kind of like the community. I just started seeing how like she would have long communication, long relationship with her clients, and that kind of served as a way of purpose. I would say it's just like the community behind it, and like having a lot of like connections, and just like I think that definitely serves into an aspect. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of barber motherly advice could you give to these young men?
I think my best advice would be is to learn early on about mentorship and surrounding yourself with the right people. Because if you have a group of 5 and one person is operating at 10 and the other are operating at 1, that person at 10 is going to drop down to 5. So take this time to surround yourself with people that you'll be able to build lasting relationships through this career in this profession, in this industry, that will always have your back. I always tell everyone that coming to Masterpiece Barber School is a family. Once you leave those doors, it's not over for you with us. So you're always welcome to come back. And just my time here, I've seen so many people that have gone through this program that have accomplished so much, that come back and give back from the things that they were instilled with while they were here. So,
okay, Mr. Man, what kind of fatherly advice could you give these young men?
I would say that there's a disconnect between the barber shops and the barber school. So I think if we unify on that level right there, I think that we could really lead our young people, our young barbers, in a trajectory that would kind of bring back some of the integrity that we have. Because word on the street is that they're not learning nothing in school. And as a barber shop, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know.
Okay. Mr. Allen, what kind of OG fatherly, grandfatherly advice could you give these young men?
Well, I'll piggyback off of what Mr. Man said. It's, just because you a barber and you've been a barber for years, you almost want to step into the line of work of being an instructor, even though you can teach someone how to cut hair, but you can't really teach them how to be a barber. But it starts with the barber school, because me as been a barber for 15 years, I had to go back to barber school. I mean, at the time, I was a barber for 15 years, and then actually probably more than that. Then I had 3 shops at the time.
You got the same time as me. You 28 or 29.
I'm trying to make it young, man. I'm trying to keep my age down, man. Come on, chill out with that, man. Somebody might be looking right now, okay? So I'm young, okay? I ain't been cutting that long, man. I was close to 30 somewhere, ballpark, something like that. But anyway, so that time, even though I had 3 shops and was a barber for that many years, I had to go back to barber school to get the fundamental of just being an instructor. And once I became an instructor, I opened up my barber school, but not only then, I was not able to teach an instructor on how to be an instructor because I was learning myself for the next 2 years on how to be a better instructor that I was probably not opening the school. Okay. And then I opened up the course to actually teach instructors on how to be an instructor. So therefore, it all starts back to, like you say, the fundamental. Go back to school. Education is so important. Let's not stop there and think we know it all. We still, and you know what? Anything, if I put anything in that law book, it would be either a refresher course for barbers or continual education for barbers.
Okay.
And that's what we need, because once we get in that shop and get comfortable, the things we learned in barber school, we don't do no more.
Well, with continued education, that goes down to going to the conventions, going to the different shows, going and taking those classes. It's up to you to really put that time and devote yourself into really wanting to build on your profession.
That's an option.
That's an option.
And
Truly an option.
Georgia might be the only state right now that is mandatory for barbers to get continuing education hours in order to renew their license.
How many hours do they have to do?
Just 5.
Just 5 hours?
But that's a start, though.
Man, that's a beautiful thing. 5 hours just to go back and really groom your mind again. I don't think that's a bad idea.
It'd be real good.
What you think, Arkansas? I like that hat, man. That's a nice hat there, man. Let me borrow it.
No, your head too big.
Oh.
Man, continuing education, right? You're always learning, right? You always, again, what did Mr. Allen say? He was learning the politics, right? I had to learn the airbrush, right? So yeah, I believe that continuing education is always good to learn. There's new products. When we started, all clippers had cords.
Now they ain't got no cords.
Right? So learning how to fix our new cord, our uncorded clippers, things like that, that would be very, very, very.
It's not only that, but to educate us on the new things, like even with you being with the board now, that you know, like the razor, simple as the razor. Most barbers hung their razor, they keep their razor inside their drawer, or they hang it on the quartz drawer. They hang it on there, which we know now that that's not legal to even do that. You're supposed to be fully immersed into the quartz.
So the first thing I do, actually, and I do this, I say this as soon as they walk in. Please take your razor out, place your razor on it, place it in your quartz jar. That's the first thing these people hear me say when I walk in here when they start this exam. That thing needs to be fully immersed in that jar. So when it's time to make that shave, they got a fully disinfected razor.
Yeah, but when you tell them that too, tell them to please rinse it before they use it. If not, somebody got some quartz on their shave. You got to tell them. The reason why you say you got to tell them, because they just come in, they nervous that morning.
Trust me,
they nervous as hell that morning.
At 8 in the morning, they are extra nervous. So,
yes.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So I will make sure that I make that known to the barbers as well. But like I was saying, with my boy Romeo the barber, he got a couple things on here. He got what is it really like when you first start barbering? Nobody trusts you yet. It's kind of crazy. Nobody trusts you yet. Your first few clients are the mates, and they're scared. Even the haircut feels like a life or death situation to you guys. That's the first one. You're cutting for a low fee. You're chasing experience, not money. But deep down, the money still hurts because you're not making the money that you potentially want to ultimately make in the beginning. You're stuck watching YouTube tutorials. You replay the same fade video 100 times, but your fade still looks like it's got Wi-Fi signals in it. You question if this really is for you. After a bad haircut, you start thinking of quitting, but the one good haircut keeps you going. So keep that in mind. You're not going to get everybody right. Every customer is not for you, and you're not for every customer. Keep that in mind. You start to fall in love with the process. You realize every bad fade is just a lesson, and every mistake gets you one step closer to mastery. You're eventually gonna get it. You're gonna become ultimately the barber that you want to be. You start growing confidence. Clients start trusting you. You stop shaking every time you line somebody up. The nervousness is gone. You're able to just do your job and do the profession well. you realize this is your calling. It's not just about haircuts anymore, but your fade still look like it's got Wi-Fi signals in it. So these are things that you guys need to keep in mind. And then, like I said, if you go on there, things that clients do that ruin their haircuts. Why barbers stay broke. Signs that your barber is actually good. Barbers that will what is actually good barbers, opinions that will trigger people, the hardest clients to cut. Why your barber is burnt out. Why most barbers take too long. These are things Romeo talks about. These are cartoons that he has that's attached to those topics. So you guys, I know you guys are social media guys, go on to Instagram and look up Romeo the Barber. A lot of this stuff, it'll make sense to you once you see it and you see the captions that's behind it. Well, we're getting ready to conclude, but anything from my panel, my guests that's sitting up here before we conclude on this thing?
Well, first of all, thank you for having us. Thank you for hosting it right here in Masterpiece Barber School. We greatly appreciate you, and we greatly appreciate the work that you do as far as the barber community and also with the barber board that's been a proctor, is actually grading the test and going over the practice exam with them, you know, and then trying to help them when they come in the door. You're trying to help them. You slid the help in there, and it's good to see how you grown to be and have your own shop and how you doing so well with everything that you're doing, man. Greatly appreciate it. It's good looking out, man. Both of you guys, man. Y'all, you know, my hat's off to you guys.
No, hats off to you for having Masterpiece Barber School and putting putting barbers out there in the community and just really doing what you've been doing, and not only with the barber school, but behind the scenes of things that you're doing, dealing with going up to Carson City and then fighting legislative and everything, doing what you can to keep this profession going in the way that it's supposed to be going. So hats off and flowers to you, my brother.
Thank you.
So I appreciate you as well.
And also, I wasn't finished. My bad. Thank you for my staff, Mr. Mann, the instructor, very well-educated instructor. And Miss Tyler over here was really helped out, came in at a time among we really need some administration, really helped turn things around. And also to my students for choosing Masterpiece to come to school and actually learn. And no shade on no other school, but I just thank God for this school and the way he really brought the school from where it was to where it is right now. And over the 3,000 students that had graduated from here and out in the barber profession, well over 3,000. Yes, it was real nice, man. Good. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. 11 years strong and still going, and God keep just making a way out of no way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anything from anybody else?
I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to have this conversation. I think it's extremely important. And also, for anybody looking for a barber school, please come and see us at Masterpiece Barber School.
Anybody else? Mr. Mann?
Shout out to the barber world.
Young man?
Just a huge thank you to Mr. Allen, Ms. Steph, and Mr. Mann, my instructors. Just having these people in my corner to give me a better future is helps me sleep better at night. So.
Yeah, I just want to go ahead and thank you and appreciate you for taking the time to come out here and like having to talk with us. And then also like, I don't know, it kind of puts into my barber education into a different perspective. And I think that's really nice to go ahead and be able to go ahead and hear a different perspective from experts that come before me. So I really appreciate the time.
Well, family, that's it for our 4th episode of Blade Talk. I want to thank Mr. Allen, Mr. Mann, Ms. Tyler, the students of Masterpiece today. And I want to thank Mr. Arkansas, Mr. Fitmac, Mr. Community Service over here for doing this thing. Until next time, keep your fade fresh and your mindset sharper. That's it for Blade Talk. And I thank everybody for coming out. Peace.